Hey Stampin' friends! Welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachael Coon and it's my all-inclusive kit class. I was going to do all 3 kits today that Stampin' Up! Has, but I decided just to pick one to show you guys how to make, and that's the Hello Dear Friend. Go ahead and hold while I flip and we'll get started. All right, if you're here today, make sure you say hello. I love to see your comments and to respond to them either live or after this one. All right, so I'm super excited. My original plan was to show you how to make one of each of the all-inclusive kits that we have, but I decided you don't want to spend an hour and a half with me today, and so we're going to kind of spread out how we're doing these all-inclusive kit classes, and this month we are going to start with our Hello Dear Friend. Next month, we'll go ahead and do the next one, which comes in this cute box, and that's going to be our Looking Up card kit will be for next month, and then for March, I'll go ahead and show you guys how to make this awesome one that is called Simply Citrus card kit. All right, the great thing about these kits are that they're all inclusive. So let me tell you what that means, because Stampin' Up! Has a couple different kinds of kits, but the all-inclusive comes with everything you need to make the kit, which is pretty fantastic if you are beginning or if you want to take it traveling. It has everything you need inside. Let me show you where you can find this kit in our mini catalog. It's right here on page 6, and it shows you the stamps that you'll get, and all the supplies are down here. It even tells you some of the colors that coordinate with this kit. This kit that we're making today will make 12 cards and cost $32 in the US. And you guys can order that anytime between now and when the catalog ends in, I think, June this year is when this catalog ends. All right, hopefully we are all focused in. You guys can see everything. Hey everyone, glad you're here. And let me show you what's inside this kit. So first, when you get an all-inclusive kit, it comes in a really nice box, which is great to help keep everything together and organized. Some people like to sit down and make all the cards at once from a kit, and then they can use the box to store the cards in, or some like to make a little bit here and there as needed. So this kit comes like that, and inside you'll find a very awesome stamp set, and it's the photopolymer, so you can see that really well. Let me get this out so you can see a little better. Okay, so it has these 5 different sayings for it, and this card has 4 different designs, so you can pick and choose which ones you want to have where. They also have these little extra pieces, and you see I have them missing because I want to show you what you can do with those extra pieces when you make your cards from this kit. The kit also comes with instructions. This is a very important part that we will look through in just a second, and I'll show you how to read the instructions for the kit. Next, you have all of your envelopes, your card bases are in here, and you have die cuts galore. So everything you possibly need to make these cards are in this kit. And these beautiful floral images, and they're easy just to pop out. They don't have adhesive on the back, and so you'll just have to use a glue dot or dimensionals to attach those. They also come with adhesive, so I have dimensionals that has come with, and these awesome little glue dots that we'll use today for our kit. It has the ink, and this one is the Misty Moonlight and the little stamping spot. I usually will set that aside because I have this in the regular big one, and I'll use that later maybe for traveling or when I use my Stamparatus, or give it out to someone else as a kit. So we have the ink, and it also comes with a clear block. So if you've never stamped before, or even if you are a stamper, it's great to have multiple blocks. And see, this is a Stampin' Up! Block, so it says it right there, and this block will fit every single one of those stamped images that comes with the kit. And all you do is you take it off the stamp, you peel it off, and then you put it on, just like that. Pretty simple and easy. And then when you're done, you clean it off and then you put it back on where you found it on the outline there. All right. There's also embellishments, like this one comes with this really pretty copper cord that we're using to make these cards. And when I usually stamp, one of my tips for kits is that I will take this whole piece here and I'll look at the card and I'll decide what sayings I want for which ones, and I will stamp the whole sheet. And then I'll have that ready until I either need the cards or they're ready to go so I can mass produce a little bit faster. Because from card to card, you don't want to have to stop every time. And so it's nice to have it all stamped and ready to go. So that's one of my kit tips for you. Let me go ahead and put this away and I'll show you each card. And then we'll get stamping. All right, so there's 2 mini cards. Here's the first one. Very pretty and floral, and I love these purples behind it with those light leaves there. This is a great thank you card, and it is just a cute little mini one. Oh, there's Lily. She says hi, everyone. Do you guys remember the Dalmatian movie where the dogs do that dog call? I swear that she's just barking because she heard another dog bark. Don't worry. All right, so this card is a fuller size card, and it is gorgeous. We have this beautiful vellum with the copper that's in it that gives that little shine to it. One of the tips they give you, because this is vellum and vellum is see-through, is that when you attach it with the glue dots, you want to make sure you place it strategically behind where you think it won't be as visible. You can always have adhesive showing through vellum, and that's fine. But if you want a more crisp, clean look, you'll put your adhesive dots somewhere where you know they'll be covered up. That's our next card. And then this is another full one, and there's 2 choices for this saying. The other one was a day to remember, but I really like the just a little note. And so that's a fun one. This one would have been really cute to make with this card here because it is just so little and be perfect for that saying. All right, let me go ahead and get these out of view, and we will start with our first card for this kit. Another tip when you're making these cards is make sure you have a bone folder ready. That's just something extra that I like to have. And then have your scissors for when you're cutting your copper little cords. And if you have a favorite adhesive, you can grab that. Otherwise, just use the adhesives that came in the kit. All right. So this one, what we'll do is we'll open this up, our directions, and inside you will see a beautiful fold out. So let me flip it over. These are all different languages here. And then on the other side, you'll see images and these little like marks. Let's see if you can see them. They have these little bullets and arrows to show what step you're doing where. And then on the side of each one, you'll see where it says how much of the copper cord you need to cut for that card. So because we're using a number system here, you want to refer to it inside in the English portion. So inside your kit has steps right here, and it says step number 1 is to stamp. Step number 2 is to adhere using dimensionals. 3 is to use the adhesive dots. 4 is to tie the cord. And number 5 is to wrap the cord around it and tie a bow. All right, so when we look at this, we'll know how to, it's kind of like a map to how to make this card and the directions to give, which is pretty great and easy to follow. All right, let me go ahead and get this one in view so you can see it, and we'll get ready. This one I need to fold down a little bit more and keep them popping open so I can't put my bone folder there so you can see it still. All right, so remember how I told you about that awesome little stamps? Let me show you that also. Sorry, that's a little loud. So they gave us 2 extra pieces that aren't the sayings and don't really need to be part of the front of the card. So you can use these little ones that's like leaves, and this one's like a little flower. You could for the inside of your cards or for the envelope. So I had these 2 colors ready and available. That's the shaded spruce and shaded spruce and Highland Heather are the 2 colors I used. And these ones I used because I knew those coordinated with this kit. I looked at the sheet and it said these are some of the ones. And if you don't know, by just looking at them, they do have it right up here in the directions. So I know that Crushed Curry, Highland Heather, Mambo, there we go, Misty, Moonlight, Old Olive, and Shaded Spruce and White are colors that will also match this stamp set or this kit, which is great to know. So that way I'm not guessing like, I think this would look good. Oh, maybe, maybe not. Okay, so when I do my kits, I usually like to separate them all. And so I'll put them either in little containers like this, and I'll shove them all in there. And like I said, I have them already pre-stamped. So we're going to even skip that step for you guys today. You've seen me stamp before, so you know how to do that, how to ink it, how to clean it, and apply it nicely. So this one, what we're going to do first is start with our vellum. We're going to put some of these adhesive dots on the back. And these ones have it where there's not like a Stampin' Up's glue dots we usually use, where it's on a roll, but they have a backing to it. So you might need to use either the back of your scissors, some nails, or some tweezers to help you get those off. And remember, I'm putting them strategically placed, so that way my main image will cover them when I'm done. So then we're just going to put that one on there. I've already have this part stamped, but that is usually step number 1. So you attach that one. Now we'll go ahead and grab our dimensionals and we'll attach this one as well. And for this guy, I just had it a little bit, probably about 3 dimensionals would be just fine to cover it. And we'll flip it over just like that. Super easy. And the best part about this adhesive is that it's messy free. I'm not getting sticky fingers or like that liquid glue that dries and you're just going to stick it everywhere else. It's a very nice non-messy glue. All right, here's my cord, and I used my directions for this one to let me know that I need to cut 12 inches. So I've done that already, and then I need to go ahead and tie a bow. And I want to warn you, and a happy warning, that this cord is a little bit slippery. And so we're going to give you a couple more tips of how to use the cord once it's ready to make it stay where you want it to stay. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. You see how it's kind of crazy looking. It just kind of goes where it wants to go. But we'll just go ahead and play with it a little bit and get it to the size you want. It is really pretty, and it does match that vellum with that embossing kind of look to it right there. Okay, so what we can do is we can either put a glue dot right here, and it will lay nicely, or you could attach it to the back of your label with that glue dot, and then use dimensionals to help lay it down as well. So let me show you that way, because we want to use those dimensionals to help us place it just right. So I'm going to just use one of those adhesive dots, and then we're going to flip this one over. Make sure it's, thank you, is the right side up. Okay. We'll place our bow right there, and make sure that it's showing through the top a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger, just by pulling those bunny ears. And we'll glue that there. And now you, oh, maybe, it says it doesn't want to stick, so we might need to use my finger a little bit more. Like that. There we go. Okay, so it's crazy, as you can tell, this little cord. So we're going to use our dimensionals, and it's going to help us place it, those, so they're going where we want it to go. And it's also letting us pop up this label, which is what we wanted to do anyway. Just lay those there. And make sure we get this one down. Kits are great because they don't require any measurements for yourself, minus the cord here. That's the only thing that we ever have to measure. Otherwise, your card bases and all your layers are already measured out for you. Oh, that looks pretty good. I like that. So let's go ahead and take off those backings, and we can attach our label right about there. And then you can see that these are looking a little scraggly, so we can take our paper snips and just trim our ends a little bit so they're not going off the card as much. Grab your bone folder, and we will go ahead and crease that. All right, make sure you remind me at the very end, I have a special announcement for those who have shopped with me this month using our Hostess kit code will get the hostess rewards, and I'm going to announce that at the end of our video today. So make sure I let you guys know. Aren't those so pretty? So pretty. I love that. It's very simple, and you can never have too many thank you cards. So that's a great one to have ready to go. Oh, and the best part is that when you're done with this kit, you'll still have that ink and the clear block and the stamps, and then you can continue making other cards using these. And sometimes if you look up, because this is called Hello My Dear Friend, if you look that up on Pinterest, you will find ideas of how to make other cards with the same stamp set. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's go on to the next card. I'll keep it going, which is going to be this one right here. You Make My Heart Smile, which is really cute and very, just a happy saying, right? You make my heart smile. That's actually one of my favorite things to say when someone makes me really happy. My heart's smiling. All right, we'll set that one right there. And let's get our pieces out for this one. Our envelope and our little flowers and our vellum. Okay. So to start for this one, we need to use our cord, which we saw, and they said, I think it was 24 inches long. We won't end up using all of that, and we'll end up trimming some, but we're going to wrap that around our vellum very carefully, because vellum is pretty sturdy, but you don't want to rip it either. And we're going to tie a bow. You might want to not hold your breath while I do this, because it could take just a hot minute, because it's a trickier material to tie bows with. There we go. 1, 2, got it. And it looks crazy right now, but don't worry, we're going to cover some and put it in the places we want it to go. Flip it over. Let's add some of those little dots to the back. Again, we want to avoid the places that aren't being covered. So I know the center area is going to be covered up. Some of these places. The sides I'm going to avoid. If you wanted to have it line up right underneath one of those copper lines, you totally could do that as well. And then we'll remove our backs. That one I think didn't come off. Let me add that one back on. There we go. Right there. And again, it's not the worst thing to see adhesive coming through vellum. It's just a preference if you don't care or if it looks just fine. Okay. So here's our card base. I'm going to turn it so you can see better. And we're going to flip over our vellum and line it up so we have borders on all sides. Awesome. Thanks, you guys, for joining me today. I love seeing your names pop up on the screen. Even if you're not saying anything, I still love you're just here. Or if you're watching the replay, that's awesome as well. I love seeing that and having you guys watch. And learn new ways and how to make and use this kit. All right, so I'm using dimensionals on the back of this one. I'm just going to put probably a couple, actually. This one's a longer label, so I'm going to put one on each end and make sure I have at least one in the middle, so that way it's not saggy. There you go. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. We're supposed to get rain later tonight here in California. All right, so I'm going to just shimmy my bow, maybe a little bit. Let's see if I can move it. Just a little bit. And then we're going to place our label on top of it. And this will help us with our bow to lay just a little bit nicer. Start from one end and work your way over. Perfect. That turned out pretty good. Let me go ahead and trim off this bit right here. There we go. So this card honestly would almost look really nice just like that. So if you wanted to make this one more masculine, that would be my tip to you, and just leave off those flowers, and this would be perfect, just as is. But if you like to make it more feminine, add the flowers with dimensionals. So we're going to take our big one first, the center one that's kind of mostly out front, and we're going to put some dimensionals on the back. But you're going to avoid your ends, because we're going to do some, or your edges. We're going to do some overlapping with these flowers, and we want to have some room to be able to add those layers in. Like this backing off there. There we go. And just layer it so it's not covering your words and that the yellow part is facing up like that. Let's go ahead and stick this guy in there. For this one, I want it to be just about here, And since this one already has dimensionals underneath it, I'm just going to put one dimensional on this side. And then we will sneak it under like that and press. Oh, look, I covered up my U. So I'm going to just quickly take that and just pivot it. There we go. So, sorry, that's the word U, the letter Y. All right, our last one here. Let's go ahead and attach this one. So my bow is kind of in the way there, and I can either have it still seen and have it, this one I have like popping out right there, or we can kind of tuck it underneath like that. There we go. Just kind of layer all up. Or this one could have gone behind it. This one I had behind that one. This one's now on top. Totally your preference of how you layer your flowers. Grab the bone folder, go on the back of it, and we have another card done from this kit. Super pretty. I love it. And because these don't have a lot of embellishments like rhinestones or gems or anything, it will ship really nicely. It does have that dimension to it, but those don't ruin envelopes or anything like that. So it's a great card to send in the mail. You guys ready for the next one? Let's get it in view. This one right here says just a little note, but we're going to change the saying for this one. Let me grab it. So we have all of our pieces. Isn't this a beautiful, like a droplet diamond look almost? It's such a neat shape. I love it. All right, we'll go ahead and get our pieces out. And for this one, we're also going to make another bow using our cord. And I think this one was like 12 inches or 14. Again, it's all in the directions. So that's really great and makes it easy. Let's see if we can get this one to tie though. Just like, there we go. Oh, that one's missing in the end. Let me undo it. So that's the great thing about bows. You could always try again and again because they can slip right back out. Get that one going. I'm so spoiled with my linen thread, which is a very easy to manipulate type of thread or twine. And so when I have these slipper types of material, it takes me a little bit longer to figure it out. But I think it'll be just fine. Let me make these loops a little bit bigger. Okay. Not too bad. Again, looks really crazy right now. We will fix it. Okay, so for this one, we're going to use those adhesive dots right here and put some on the back of them. Again, avoiding the edges right there. This would be a fun wedding card. I think that's why that saying is a day to remember. You make that into a wedding greeting. And I think it'd be perfect. These colors are so bright and springy that I don't know if you're in a cold area right now, but that would be a much wanted thing. Spring, right? We love spring. It's one of our favorites. Okay, so we have that one. Let's go ahead and attach this to the back of our saying. We want to have it so that way it's kind of peeking out of this top here. We're going to use a dimensional right now to help us with laying it down. There we go. And then we can add a couple more. We'll do another dimensional right there and one right there. And then when we lay that down, we'll just make sure that we sneak that part up as well. Actually, I'm going to add one more dimensional on this bottom side. There we go. So these four. Take off our backings. And hold up your bow like that. And we'll set it about halfway up and a little bit over to the right side for that one. Then we'll grab this awesome die cut of this flower and add some dimensionals. You see, these are really, really easy cards that come together fast, but they have lots of great parts about them, like vellum that are cut out, and this cord, and all of these pre-colored images, that it makes them really pretty and easy to make. All right, we'll use our bone folder, and then this one will also be done. Super pretty. Love that one. Which one do you guys like better? The saying, it's just a little note or a day to remember? I'm more likely to use that just a little note, but I do really like that saying, a day to remember. Set those aside. We'll get ready for our last one, which is the easiest one and what has inspired the name of this kit, the Hello Dear Friend. And I love that greeting. I think that is super sweet. And just could be sent to almost anyone who is a dear friend to you. So we have our card base. It has these gorgeous purple lines going through them. And I've already stamped it for us in that Misty Moonlight. And we have our yellow flower and 2 leaves. Our shrubbery or greenery right there. As you notice, my other tip is that I love to attach things while they are flat versus me trying to have this folded and then now try to attach things to it when it's popping up. Makes it really hard for me. So one of my tips is always to fold last. It's like the last step that you'll do for any of the cards that I make. All right, so this guy we're going to flip over. There's no cord for this one. And this one we want to do kind of the same thing. We're not putting our dimensionals close to the edges because we want to be able to stick in our little cute green leaves there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and center that on this one. And then we're going to use our little shrubberies here. Go ahead and put some of these little dots on the back. And I only use probably 1, maybe 2 at most to attach these on there. Take off the backings. And you notice I usually do them at the same time. It just kind of saves. I'm doing the same step at the same time versus doing it twice. And then since we have the dimensionals underneath here, I'm just going to push it under there and then press it down. Just like that. And same with this guy. We'll just slide it in and then press it down. Looking awesome. This one, they actually have us using a adhesive dot instead of dimensional, is what they said. But I don't know if I told you, and you have complete creative freedom to go rogue. And you could follow the kit as how they have their directions, or make it how you see fit, or how you want it, or what works best for the card that you're making. Let's go ahead and use our bone folder on this one. Just like that. And that looks awesome. I'm going to show you really quick how to stamp that one cute little items. And then don't let me forget to tell you who won our the Hostess Rewards for the month. Who gets to spend some extra and get some fun Stampin' Up stuff just for ordering with that Hostess code. All right, so we're going to open up our shaded spruce like that. And I suggest doing the bottom part first. Let me move that so you can see the shadow. There you go. So we're going to ink that up. These ones are little enough. I probably don't need my foam sheet underneath it. And we're just going to put it right here. There's a couple spots on envelopes that I like to stamp. One is the very right corner, and one is the very back on the top of the flap. Those are some of my favorite places. All right, here's this little flower, and it doesn't look like much at all. It really doesn't, but because of the style of the stamp it has that distinctive look to it. Now watch what happens when I ink it down. It has like a 2-tone look to it. So it looks like it has a front layer and a back layer, all with just stamping it once, which is pretty awesome. I love that style. And I definitely want to make sure you stamp on your envelopes because they make them so much more fun to receive when it's already pretty before you even open it. Kind of builds that anticipation. All right, you guys ready for me to announce the winner? I haven't forgotten. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, but I might butcher her name. So I will say it, and then I apologize if it's not how you pronounce it, but she ordered from me this month, and she gets $30 worth of Stampin' Rewards, Hostess Rewards, just for using that Hostess code this month. And I'll have another Hostess code for next month, so if you order with that one, you may be one of the lucky winners of the Hostess Rewards. All right, our winner is ready, Sarah Hesco, I think how you say it. There we go. Congratulations, and thank you so much for ordering with me this month. I'm so glad that you have bought some kits and that you can also stamp along with me. All right, let me get these back in view so you can look at how they turned out. It's a great kit. Again, 12 cards come in this one for $32, and then you always have that stamp and the block and the ink afterwards. I hope you guys had a great time watching this video and learning how to put the Hello Dear Friend kit together. Happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.